Howdy, y'all. So, we're going to be using this document, this PDF, called the Seven Assessment Strategies for Schools of Modern Learning throughout the rest of the course. And in the Module 2, you'll see that I've assigned the introduction to this, as well as the first of the seven assessment strategies. Hope this isn't making you nauseous as I'm going so quickly through this. And this one is about beliefs must drive assessment. And I'm going to ask that we experiment with a tool called Hypothesis. You'll see in the module, I've described it, and there's a little video to show you what the intention is, but it allows me to annotate. I'm going up into the upper right-hand corner in my Chrome browser so that you can see Hypothesis is a Chrome extension. And I'll turn that on in a second, but that allows me to add annotations along with other folks who have been invited into my group, or just in public in general if you'd like. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead and get that that extension up into your browser in Chrome. I'm hopeful that you're using Chrome, but I think it does work on other browsers. I've just tested it on Safari, and then I'll show you how it works. So I'm going to come into Safari now because I want to show you the steps through that. And since I've already added it, I'm not able to do that in Chrome. So you come to the main page of the Hypothesis site, which is linked out in our module. You click on Get Started, and then you're going to have to go and create a free account. So go through those steps. And then when you come back, you can either grab this Hypothesis bookmarklet, as it says here, drag it by selecting it, and you can bring it up into your browser bookmarks. See how I've got that little plus sign there? And if I let go, it's going to create a little bookmarklet, which is just like a little extension that you've seen here. The other way to do it is if you're in Chrome, you can either go right to the Chrome store. This link will bring you right there. And if I were in Chrome, it would look a little bit different, and I could go ahead and click on Add to Chrome. Okay. Again, I'm in Safari right now to demonstrate this. Or click the Chrome extension right here if you're in Chrome. So both of those should be accessible for you to be able to get started on annotating. And let me show you how that works. So once you've added that bookmarklet or that extension, it has this little icon up in the right-hand side of your toolbar. And when I click on that, notice how it loads the PDF in a different way. So it looks like I've got a different view of this document here. And I know that the extension is working right now in terms of Hypothesis because I see this little caret here that allows me to open up the tool bar for Hypothesis. Let's go ahead and create an annotation. There's little instructions about how to go ahead and do that. And what I've done is I've created this EDCI 324 group. So instead of having this annotation be out to the public, that means anybody who is reading this PDF could, if they had Hypothesis, see what you've posted. We're going to ask you to select the EDCI 324 group from your dropdown. There is a link on the module that invites you into this very specific group. Okay. So I select in that dropdown instead of public EDCI 324, and I want to go ahead and create an annotation. So I just come back in. Let me go ahead and close that so I can see the whole text. And if this is something that I'm interested in, the biggest challenge facing educational leaders, I'm going to grab this. I'm just pulling over to select this. And then when I let go, I can create that annotation specifically for me. And I can keep, or I can keep it as a highlight, or I can create that annotation to share directly with us. So I'm going to click on Annotate. And then here I have a little box with the rich text editor. I can insert links or images, and I can even kind of format that a little bit if I'd like to. Don't necessarily need to do that, because the way that I'm asking you to respond to this is to think about the 4A's and the 4A's protocol. So is there something that I'm thinking that the authors have an assumption about that I'm curious about? Not necessarily a bias, but an assumption. Or is there something that I agree with, or I want to argue to, or I want to aspire to? So I might start my annotation by saying, I tend to agree here, but my argument is, and onward, as you can imagine. So again, try to frame the responses through those 4A's, but then argument is ... and then I'm going to post that to that piece here. Now again, I want to move this back, so I'm continuing along and I'm reading along, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here where I'm going to highlight and then annotate throughout the course of this. What happens to this then is that when somebody else has done this annotation and you come along and you're reading, you can open up your hypothesis account and you can see them start to stack up here, and you can respond and reply directly to them. You could share this. And the other way to be able to see those annotations as they start to build over the course of our time together is to go out to the link. Again, that happens to be on our module 2. And just refresh that, because now that I've made an annotation into the document that we're sharing, I see that the document is here, and then it looks like there's been one annotation added, and I could just go ahead and click on that and be able to go and see those annotations. So this is our sort of group page. You don't necessarily have to come here if you don't want to see them all stacked up like that. You can always just continue to be in the document and to see them grow. I do know that it's a little bit complicated to get this set up, but once we're able to together annotate this and sort of start a discussion conversation, I think it'll prove to be worth the effort to get it there. Thanks and good luck.